Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at Dr. David Duffy's recent presentation on airborne biodiversity genomics, our mission, exploring how wildlife forensics is turning the air you breathe into an invisible map of all living things, bringing us closer than ever to a real-life Star Trek tricorder.
We really need a technological leap like this right now. Dr. Duffy's notes actually start with a pretty grim reality check on global wildlife. So since the 1970s, populations have declined by 69%.
Wow.
Yeah, and wild mammals now make up just 6% of global mammal weight. Humans and our domestic animals account for the remaining 94%.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have a massive collapse in mammal populations. But how does turning the air into a DNA map actually help solve that? I mean, it seems like it just measures the decline.
Well, to stop the decline, we first need to know exactly what is surviving and where. Traditional tracking.
Like physically tagging them.
Right, tagging or observing animals. It's incredibly slow and it stresses the wildlife out. Since we already know organisms constantly shed genetic material into their environment, the real breakthrough here isn't the eDNA itself, it's the sensitivity of the new sequencing tech.
We can now pull actionable genetic fingerprints directly from ambient air or water or soil.
Mapping entire ecosystems without ever disturbing them.
Which brings us to the Star Trek territory. With advances in handheld sequencing devices and cloud computing, you can scan an environmental sample and get a comprehensive biodiversity list in under 24 hours. Dr. Duffy's presentation gave some wild examples of this sensitivity, starting with beach sand.
Just 10 grams of sand is enough to identify the exact species of a sea turtle that walked over it. They can even detect pathogens the mother turtle was shedding and trace her specific genetic origin point.
I read that, proving a turtle found in Florida actually originated from a beach in Brazil. Sand is one thing, but taking data directly out of the air feels like magic. I saw in the notes something about an air sample in a Florida forest and another filter in a Dublin city center. What exactly did they find there?
In that Florida mixed-use forest, a really simple air sample successfully identified local bobcats, spiders, and tiny biting midges.
Just floating in the air.
Just from the air. But the Dublin City Center filter was even more revealing. It caught DNA from local dogs, but also an astonishing 87 different human genetic ancestry groups.
See, if an air filter is picking up detailed human genetic profiles, this goes way beyond wildlife conservation.
Yeah.
You're suddenly looking at urban management and public health.
What's fascinating here is how directly this applies to human health. Public health officials are already using eDNA to monitor urban wastewater. They can detect disease spikes, like COVID-19 or bird flu.
Up to 2 weeks early.
Yes, up to 2 weeks before they start seeing actual hospitalizations.
Which gives hospitals a crucial head start. And if they can track diseases in water, doing it in the air means tracking the spread of invasive disease-carrying mosquitoes, or even monitoring the air for specific allergens like peanut particles or fungal spores.
It completely transforms how communities prepare for public health threats, while simultaneously acting as a revolutionary measuring stick for nature. It tells us what is out there and measures whether conservation efforts are actually working across the whole food web. However, it doesn't replace the physical work.
Right, the technology is just a tool.
We still desperately need intentional, boots-on-the-ground efforts to actually protect and restore those habitats.
After learning about the sheer volume of data floating around us, I am never going to look at a dirty window pane the same way again. It's secretly just a massive DNA sampler capturing a genetic log of the neighborhood.
Every uncleared surface is collecting data, constantly.
Which leaves a pretty wild question for you to chew on. If a simple air filter in a city center can casually capture a detailed profile of 87 human genetic groups, complete with clues about disease susceptibilities, what exactly does the future of genetic privacy look like in a world where you leave your DNA in the wind with every breath you take?